What's going on, everybody? This is Keagan here, and welcome back to my channel. I'm back with a brand new video for you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Keagan's Movie Reviews. And would you guys believe it, there's only 3 episodes left of Season 2, and then we'll be on Season 3, which Season 3 will be coming out sometime in January. So anyways, on to today's review, shall we? So today's movie I'm going to be talking about, well, I'm actually going to be reviewing 2 movies this episode. This is another double feature review. And today's movies I'm going to be talking about in this double feature review is number 1, House of a Thousand Corpses, and number 2, Videodrome. Both of these are horror movies, and they both came out 20 years apart, and one of them is actually part of a trilogy. So let's talk about House of a Thousand Corpses first, shall we? So, House of a Thousand Corpses is a horror movie and the first film in the Firefly Family Trilogy, and was directed by Rob Zombie. And this was also Rob Zombie's directorial debut. He would later direct the remake of Halloween from 2007 and the sequel to Halloween in 2009. And this film was released on April 11th, 2003. Now, I haven't seen the other 2 movies in the Firefly Family Trilogy, which the other 2 movies in the trilogy are The Devil's Rejects from 2005 and 3 from Hell from 2019. I haven't seen those 2 movies yet, but maybe someday I'll check them out. Now, this movie had a lot of production hell while this movie was being filmed. This movie was actually filmed in 2000, but didn't get released until 2003 due to some of the issues it was having while in production. However, in this video, we're not going to talk about the production hell, but I'm sure somebody else or some other people on YouTube that reviewed this movie might talk about some of the issues that this movie went through while in production. But you're not going to hear any of the production hell in this video. So let's talk about the movie itself, shall we? So the storyline for House of a Thousand Corpses is that the movie is set in the late 1970s and takes place somewhere in Texas. And it follows 2 young couples on the road in the middle of Texas looking for an urban legend of a serial killer named Dr. Satan. While on the way, they pick up a hitchhiker, and then their car crashes in the middle of nowhere in Texas. But then they get picked up by a tow truck, and the tow truck takes the car and the couple and the hitchhiker to a house owned by a family of serial killers known only as the Fireflies. But then it doesn't take long for them to realize what they walked into, and they start becoming prisoners for the family of serial killers. And it turns out the hitchhiker is a member of the family. And yeah, that's pretty much the story of the movie. But House of a Thousand Corpses has a lot of flaws with it, especially considering a lot of the production hell it went through while the movie was being made. Now, for a movie that has flaws, it's a film that could possibly affect one person's viewing of the movie. But for me, I thought this movie was actually pretty good. I thought it was pretty funny, pretty gory. Well, I didn't find the movie scary, but it had a few gory parts in it, but it was funny, and I had a lot of fun watching this movie. While it's not a perfect movie or anything by any means, but for a directorial debut, I thought Rob Zombie did a pretty good job on it, besides some of the production hell it went through. And for the start of a trilogy, I would say it's a pretty good movie. Well, maybe not one of the best horror movies ever made, but it's a fun one to watch. Some people like it, some people hate it, but me, I enjoyed it for what it is. And I think it still holds up to this day. Well, I haven't seen the other 2 movies in the trilogy. I haven't seen The Devil's Rejects, and I haven't seen 3 from Hell yet, but maybe someday I'll check those movies out. But for House of a Thousand Corpses, I don't really have much else to say other than I thought this was a fun movie to watch. It may not be one of the best horror movies I've ever seen, but I enjoyed it for what it is. Some people will like it, some people might not like it, but if you like Rob Zombie's music, I think you might like this movie. And this movie does have some pretty good music in it too, and I like the set designs and the production value put into it. But overall, House of a Thousand Corpses is a pretty good movie. It may not be a movie for everyone, but I personally enjoyed it for what it is. And I'll probably check out the other two movies in the trilogy at some point and do a review of them. But I'm going to give House of a Thousand Corpses a 7.1 out of 10. Now let's talk about Videodrome, shall we? Videodrome is a 1983 science fiction horror movie written and directed by David Cronenberg. And this movie is also a Canadian horror movie, by the way. And this movie was released on February 4th, 1983. So the storyline for this movie, it follows a man named Max, played by James Woods, and he is a programmer at a TV station called Civic TV, which is basically an adult-oriented channel that airs extreme violence, extreme pornographic material. Just think of it as a much, much more edgier version of HBO, except it actually airs porn, unlike HBO. And one day, Max gets a videotape titled Videodrome, and the video features some really, really messed up material involving extreme violence, torture, rape, and a lot of other messed up stuff. And he figured, why not air it to his station? But he's trying to figure out where did the videotape come from. But what he's unaware of, all the stuff that he sees on the tape is actually real, and it's actually somebody getting tortured and killed and all this other messed up stuff. And as he tries to find out where did the tape come from, he starts seeing hallucinations and a lot of crazy stuff starts to happen to him. And it seems like he's starting to lose his mind, but it's something much more sinister than that. And that's pretty much the story of the movie. And I gotta say, this is definitely one of the best horror movies I've seen in a while. This movie is creepy. It has a few gory parts in it. It's disturbing. And it has some really good special effects. And some of the special effects were done by Rick Baker, who did the special effects for an American Werewolf in London. Which, I gotta be honest, I've never seen an American Werewolf in London. But I know that Rick Baker did the special effects for that movie. But I thought this movie was really, really well done. And David Cronenberg is a great director. He directed other movies like A History of Violence, Crash, the 1996 movie, that is. And he also directed other movies like Eastern Promises and a couple of other movies. And I like a lot of David Cronenberg's movies. I think his movies are great. And I think this movie right here is definitely one of his best movies. And if you like horror movies, this is one I highly recommend checking out. I think this is one of the best horror movies I've seen. And probably one of my favorite horror movies now. I really, really enjoyed it. This is definitely a movie I'll watch again anytime soon. And if you like horror movies and you like David Cronenberg, definitely give this one a watch. I'd say this is a classic and one of the best horror movies of the 1980s and one of the best horror movies of all time. And maybe even David Cronenberg's best movie. Well, I haven't seen all of David Cronenberg's other movies, but I'm going to try to watch all of his other movies. But I'm going to give I'm going to give Videodrome an 8 out of 10. So that's going to be it for this video, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please leave a like, please leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos like this. And what are your thoughts on these two movies? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you would like to check out my last review, which was on Borat's subsequent movie film, the link to that is in the description. And my next review will be on Carlito's Way. So in the meantime, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. And until next time, this is Keagan Shepard signing off. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.